The High Life update is officially 10 years old. Hard to believe that a decade has already flown by since this update came out. And in my opinion, it's one of the best updates for GTA Online for the year 2014. And there's a lot of stuff that Rockstar added to this update. Most of it was good. There's one or two things I personally didn't like or thought they could have did a better job with. We'll talk about that in a minute. But just like with the St. Valentine's Massacre video, as well as the business update, we continue our 10 Years Later series when it comes to GTA Online updates. By the way, let me know your thoughts, views, and opinions regarding the High Life update below, especially for those of you that played the update when it dropped in 2014 on the Xbox 360 and the PS3. So yeah, I consider this to be probably the best update of the year 2014. It had some other updates that were decent, but this one I feel added a bit more to the game. We got 3 new vehicles at the time, including this vehicle, the Zentorno, the Massacro, and the Huntley S. And at the time, Rockstar was also adding new vehicles to story mode. So you could go into story mode in GTA 5 and purchase and try out these vehicles in story mode before you spent your money in GTA Online to buy the Zentorno, Massacro, or Huntley S. Unfortunately, Rockstar doesn't do that anymore. So what else did they do with this update? They actually added a lot of other stuff besides 3 new vehicles. Something that was actually game changing for GTA Online. This update introduced the ability for us to own 2 properties instead of 1. So you could own up to 2 high-end apartments and up to 20 personal vehicles. That was quite revolutionary for the time. Obviously now we can own way more than 20 vehicles and 2 properties, but back in 2014 it was kind of a big deal. They also added 5 new listings for the apartments. So we had new listings at Eclipse, as well as Richards Majestic, Tinsel Towers, 4 Integrity Way, and the Del Perro Heights apartments. They also gave us a few other things as well, including new clothing, which is standard for the course when it comes to most updates. A new rifle, the Bullpup rifle, which even at its time wasn't very impressive compared to the other rifles, but yay, we got a new rifle. They added 10 additional vehicles from GTA 5 story mode to the websites. I think these vehicles were already in the game because I do remember owning the Vapid Dominator in the early days of GTA Online. It was my very first vehicle. So I guess what they meant in the newswire at the time were these vehicles finally added to the 2 vehicle websites, such as the Topless Banshee, the Topless Coquette, the Dominator, as well as the Ocelot F620, the Fusillade, as well as the Penumbra, the Sentinel XS, the Sentinel Convertible, the Stinger Topless, and the Voltic Topless. They were all added to the vehicle website. So you could buy these vehicles instead of driving around trying to find them. And there are a few of the vehicles that you couldn't buy anyways, like the Topless Banshee or the Topless Coquette. You could not steal them and put them in your garage. You could only buy them, and that's the way it's always been. They also included 8 new contact missions because contact missions were all the rage back then. Some new captures, survivals, TDMs, last team standing modes. They sprinkled in some of them as well. And so they added other things to the game courtesy of the High Life update. Non-contact races, which a lot of us appreciate when we're racing in GTA Online now, because before they added non-contact racing, it was rage-inducing, especially for those of us that actually tried to race, and then you had other players that would just crash into you. It was very annoying, very frustrating. And with non-contact, players could no longer crash into each other, and that, I think, made racing a lot better, because even if you were a terrible racer, you could race to the best of your abilities without worrying about crashing into somebody unintentionally. And that happened as well. But it also was good to stop those that would intentionally do it. They added the ability to friend spectate and player toast as well as celebrations. And the mental state. This is something that I liked and didn't like at the same time. I did a rant about it a long time ago. It might be one of my very first rants. I like the idea of the mental state, but the problem, if I recall correctly, is at the time it wasn't just about killing other players. You could gain mental state by killing NPCs, or the police, or the military, or the gangs, or Merryweather. And I'm of the opinion still, 10 years later, that the mental state should have only been tied to killing other players. If you killed a whole bunch of other players, then your mental state would go up. The NPC deaths should not count towards the mental state. And something else they actually mentioned in the newswire that takes me back is the fact that once upon a time, they took suggestions or asked for suggestions and ideas for the community via an email address, gtonline@rockstargames.com. And the reason why I mention this at the end is because that's how this channel started. I spent months playing GTA Online since it launched in October 2013, giving Rockstar ideas for what I would like to eventually see added to the game via email. And I don't know if Rockstar ever read any of my emails, maybe not. But it was from there where I got tired of sending emails and deciding that maybe instead of emailing Rockstar, I would just turn those ideas into videos. And the rest, as you can say, is history. But it's crazy that once upon a time, that was the way we would give Rockstar feedback, besides the socials, was to actually send them an email, gtonline@rockstargames.com. I wonder if that email address still works. I know they replaced it with a feedback page, and it probably is like automated, where there's like an algorithm. So if people do send Rockstar feedback, it just goes to the algorithm of keywords. And that might be the way that they do it going forward. But it was kind of cool back in the day to have that email address, and how important it is to me personally that it did inspire me to start a gaming channel. Back then I also had the political channel, but I was getting tired of politics, still am. And I kind of reminisce on that email address, because I sent quite a few emails to Rockstar via gtonline@rockstargames. But yeah, overall, the High Life update was one of the best updates of 2014, in my honest opinion. They added a couple really good cars, like the Zentorno, which I still love to this day, as well as the Massacro. The Huntley S was an okay SUV. It was overshadowed by these other two cars. And the ability to actually own two properties and up to 20 vehicles, that's something that players were asking for since the game launched, once they got the high-end apartment and they maxed out their 10-car garage. And, more contact missions were great, because that was the way players made money back in the day. And I think that some of those contact missions don't even work anymore. They got disabled by Rockstar, but some are still playable, I think. And yeah, non-contact races, essential for most racers in GTA Online, even to this day. And I don't know if they ever bothered going back and reworking the mental state. I don't think they did, because I think your mental state can still go up by going on a rampage and a little spree, a little misadventure, destroying NPCs, whether they're just innocent NPCs or the police or military, Merryweather, or the other gangs. I think it still has a negative effect on your mental state. So at this point, I doubt Rockstar would bother to go back and quote-unquote improve the mental state in the game. But yeah, it is unfortunate that Rockstar stopped adding content from GTA Online to GTA 5 as well, because I felt like that was something that they were going to keep doing. But I think they stopped doing that around the Heist update, which is coming up. The 10-year anniversary for that is going to be, March 2025? But yeah, I mean, at the very least, I wish they would still add vehicles, at least vehicles, and maybe weapons from previous updates to GTA 5 story, so that there was at least some sort of quote-unquote new content every now and then added or sprinkled into GTA 5 story mode. But unfortunately, those days are long gone. And I still reminisce about the ability to buy these vehicles first and foremost. With all that money you earn by the end of GTA 5 story mode, you buy them there, you try them out there, and then you decide whether or not you wanted the Zentorno, the Massacro, and or the Huntley S before you spent your money in GTA Online buying those rides. So yeah, the 10-year anniversary of the High Life update. It was a good update for the most part. And we have a few more updates in this year to cover. Coming up, we got I'm Not a Hipster, Independence Day Special, and a few others as well before the year 2024 is over. Your thoughts, views, and opinions regarding the High Life update, welcome, as always, below in the comments section.